and he's finished 30th or worse 7 times in 1999 prior to today. And you, of course, wonder about the year 2000 because, as we mentioned earlier, the Rainbow Warriors, which have been so successful in getting Jeff in and out of the pits, are all going to the Robert Yates team in 2000.
But I think the White's on those guys, and Andy Popper will be able to put together a pit crew that will be able to pit him just as well as anyone else. The biggest concern that they've got, and I'm told that Jeff Gordon just will drop to 6th in the NASCAR Winter Cup point standings, the final point standings. The biggest concern that they have right now is to get this car back up front, because the last 3 or 4 races, it's been mired around the 10th place position.
So they push the car back to the garage area. Just lost 5th in points to Jeff Burton. 29. 8 points behind Jeff Burton right now.
Yeah, he was not far behind him or in front of him coming into this race.
I think there are only 2 points separated the 2 cars going into the Napa 500 here this afternoon. And most cars will stay on the racetrack and not make a pit stop because there's only a few laps on these tires.
Well, Jeff Gordon, winning the championship last year, won this race. His success not nearly as good in 1999. He's back in the garage area.
Introducing the 2000 Daewoo Nubira. Its styling is admired from Rome to Paris. Its engineering has a track record on the highways of Germany. And its 333 Value Plus program provides 3 years of roadside assistance, factory warranty, and all scheduled maintenance at no extra charge. For under $11,000, welcome to a whole new world. The Nubira from Daewoo.
There's something special about the folks who work at AutoZone. The fact that they know more than a thing or two about looking up parts and solving problems. Their willingness to go the extra mile. And their belief in doing what's right. So it's no wonder why millions of customers turn to us each week for help in getting back on the road. Because working at AutoZone means taking pride in taking care of people.
During human reproduction, the male approaches the female in a heightened state of
We're Roxy.com. We're the guys who used to hang out in the AV room. Now we've got a website that recommends and sells electronics. We'll talk to you online or on the phone and help you buy all sorts of things electronic.
During human reproduction, the male approaches the female in a heightened state of excitement.
Roxy.com. Electronics without the static.
$10 for lunch? I heard of a guy got a brand new car for that.
Sounds like a Darrell Waltrip story.
Oh, I swear it's true. This guy was at the track. He sees this notice. It says brand new hot rod, $10.
No, it's not a misprint. Stop by and see for yourself.
Turns out her husband met this little gal at the track, and he ran off to Tahiti with her. And he told his wife to sell the car and send him the money.
No.
Now at Kmart.
Beautiful overhead shot of Atlanta Motor Speedway, located about 40 miles south of downtown Atlanta, as we are still under caution, waiting to go back to green flag racing. John is with Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon has pulled his car into the garage area. And Jeff, you know, after the perception would be after Ray left, you guys just picked right up, won the next 2 races, but it's been kind of a struggle, and it appears now the struggle is continuing. Can you guys get this team righted again?
Well, yeah, with our new Chevrolet, we will be able to, you know, that's going to help us out quite a bit. But, yeah, we got to make, you know, a lot of adjustments over the off season because, I mean, we've lost our pit crew and Ray and a couple other guys. So we weren't really prepared for this for the end of the season. And in Winston Cup racing, if you're not clicking perfect, you're not going to, you know, be able to win races. You know, we're fortunate to win the first 2 out of the box, and we're still pumped up. I believe in these guys. I believe in Brian White, so he's making great calls, great adjustments, and we were gaining on it today. We were slowly but surely working our way up through the field. Track, a whole lot different than any of us thought it would be, and, you know, tires are a little bit of an issue today. Unfortunately, we I guess you broke a rod or something that's going to put us out.
All right, Jeff Gordon is done for the day.
So the champion retires here in the final race of 1999. Getting set to go back to green flag racing.
Now there are only 17 cars being shown on the lead lap. Ken Schrader, that car down on the inside, the green Skoll car, is in 18th position, 1 lap down.
Steve Park is at the front of the field. He has led 65 laps, the most so far today. Bobby Labonte is second on the most laps led list with 58. Park has been out front 8 different times. Crowd rises to its feet.
And a huge crowd it is.
Yes, it is. Check out the Bud race recap. Steve Park has led 66 of the first 187 laps. We've had 24 lead changes and a total of 5 caution periods totaling 28 laps. As far as those who have been out front, Bobby Labonte, second highest in laps led. Mark Martin and Kevin LePage have both led 17. Michael Waltrip early was up front for 12. And here are the others who have gotten the 5 bonus points for leading a lap. As far as cars off the track are concerned, only one, Dave Blaney. And now we can list 4 as out of the race: Todd Bodine, Jimmy Spencer, Johnny Benson, and most recently, Jeff Gordon.
Jeremy Mayfield passed the 1 car, Steve Park, for the lead. Well, Park just passed him back.
And Bill has a report on Jeremy Mayfield, who's looking really good.
And he really used some pit strategy to get up to the front, Bob. A 2-tire stop for Mayfield. They took 2 right side tires and fuel on that last stop.
And he scared Steve Park to death coming off third floor. He came up the racetrack just exactly like he didn't realize that Park was there, and Steve jumped out of the gas and said, "Let me get out of the way of Jeremy Mayfield."
There is Wally Dallenbach down to the inside of the racetrack in the 25 Budweiser sponsored car. He's in 18th position now and is now the first car on the lead lap, having passed Ken Schrader.
Ricky Rudd, who is in the 5th position, now he's been passed by Dale Earnhardt. Earnhardt is up to 5th. They're mired back there in the lap traffic. All these 4 here sort of pulled away a little bit.
Mark Martin, he is back in 9th position, benefiting, of course, from the caution period that he needed tremendously. And look at the difference in speed.
Second to lap almost.
1 second per lap as we see Steve Park, the Pennzoil car. Once again, Steve Park is having the race of his life as he goes by Jeremy Mayfield. Once again, takes the lead.
Bobby Labonte trying to come right along with him. And so his cars race side by side there. Steve Park looks up in his mirror and said, "Just keep doing that, guys. I might be able to pull away from you a little bit."
Everyone has been talking about the Pontiac's advantage right now. We've got a Chevrolet in front and a Pontiac and a Ford almost side by side. Now we'll give you the Pontiac in second. The Ford takes over third. And here's Dale Jarrett, the champion, in a Ford. In fourth.
Trying to take third.
Yeah, down to the inside, and he will move to 3rd position. Give Jarrett 3rd.
He hasn't led yet today, has he?
Nope.
He's got some strong cars in front of him there that might keep him from it.
Pennzoil copter cam following the first 4 cars around the track. Park, Bobby Labonte, Jarrett, and Mayfield.
They're running some of the fastest laps right now that we've seen them run all day. Over 184 miles an hour. A few laps ago, they ran over 185.
Park the fastest last lap at 184.241 miles an hour. Jerry has more on the Steve Park run.
echoing your comments about what an impressive performance he is putting on today. This is the same car they ran at Charlotte in May when he led over 80 laps, only to be taken out by an accident that was not of his own doing of another car. This same car also ran at Charlotte in October, and just with 7 cylinders, he finished in the top 10. That's how good this car is. And by the way, this exact same setup is what his team put on Ron Hornaday's car yesterday, who dominated the second half and won the ARCA event.
His career best finish came at Michigan in June of this year, 6th. He is having the race of his career here today.
There's Labonte trying to go by on the inside.
Side by side all the way down the backstretch. Labonte tries to wrestle the lead away from Steve.
Still side by side as they come off the turn 4. Probably thought he might be able to get the advantage as they came off the turn. Now he does have the advantage.
And here's Kenny Wallace and the 98 of Mast. And again, we
also think Terry Labonte's involved.
Yeah, he's up against the wall there on the left.
And these 3 cars all have had major problems today. We're running far. They were Terry Labonte's 48 laps down.
Oh, and Michael Waltrip also.
Oh, no.
And they're still spinning right in front of Bobby Labonte.
Jerry Nadeau spins. I guess they're trying to race it back to the line. Oh, but he wins the race back to the line. I guess that's what was happening there. Jerry Nadeau was trying to get back to the start-finish line, trying to get a lap back.
I don't think Nadeau hit anything. He slid down to the inside in the grass, as did Jeffrey Bodine early in the race. But there's damage to Kenny Wallace's car, and as we saw it sitting up against the wall in turn number 4, there's major damage to Terry Labonte's Kellogg's Chevy.
And Michael Waltrip's car. Looks like someone ran all of the left side of Michael Waltrip's car.
Kenny Wallace was already 84 laps down from the earlier problems he had.
There is Labonte, whose nose is heavily damaged.
Michael Waltrip with heavy damage all the way down the left side of his Chevrolet.
I thought that Michael's car, as someone had hit the car, but I think this car has hit the wall with the left side, Ned.
You like to see those window nets come down because that indicates the driver is okay, and they're not down on either Waltrip or Terry Labonte. We have a couple of replays to see if we can determine what happened.
Ever see Michael Waltrip's car up against the outside retaining wall, and Terry Labonte, I guess, has hit Michael's car, would you think?
I believe so. I believe he hit the 7 car. Okay, here's the 36 car up there trying to get a lap back, and he got up in the loose gravels there and spun all the way down right in front of Bobby Labonte. Bobby Labonte said, "What in the world is going on here?
Where did he come from?"
Yeah.
Wrecking in front of me, and there was nobody in front of me.
And another angle. Oh, boy, he came very, very close to not only collecting Labonte, but also taking out Bobby Labonte.
Yeah.
Well, in any case, our 6th caution flag of the afternoon is waving here at the Napa 500.
The lowest average airfares in southeastern Virginia have landed at Newport News Williamsburg International Airport. Our low airfares will save you money. With nearly 50 flights a day on AirTran, United Express, and U.S. Airways Express, we can get you anywhere in the world. We're closer than you think, just off I-64 in Newport News. So next trip, remember, you're clear for takeoff at Newport News Williamsburg International Airport.
Introducing new frequent phone hours.
Use the phone just 8 hours a week and get this free phone cradle. Use it 12 hours and get a speakerphone.
Use it 15 hours and get this cool headset.
Or stay stay on the phone 20 hours a week,
And get a pasty complexion.
flabby body, and a great new nickname at school.
Exercised lately?
When it's time for the kill, the sniper sees only the target. Hull and Solani are specialists because anyone can shoot, but few can score. Mighty Ducks, Stars, Friday at 4 on ESPN. This is the game.
My Sports Center meal starts at 9:53 a.m. with the Did You Know as my appetizer for the 10 o'clock show, which is my main course.
It's just filthy with the crossover.
And for dessert, I don't know, the ice cream with the cookie dough is pretty good.
This is a sport that brings families together. Most of the time, anyway.
You're mine today, buddy. That rooster's crowing a little early this morning, isn't it?
This is a sport where the hearts race every bit as fast as the cars. And this is a sport where some of its biggest fans are some of its smallest. This is NASCAR.
We welcome you back to Atlanta Motor Speedway, the Napa 500, which is under caution. Several cars involved in an incident up in turn number 4. Those suffering the most damage as far as cars are concerned, Terry Labonte, whose car came to a rest up against the outside wall, and down to the inside apron of the track, Michael Waltrip. Now, we understand that Terry Labonte did get out of his car. However, Michael Waltrip has not emerged from his car, and it looks like they're preparing to cut the roof off of his Phillips Chevy.
Yeah, the roof, right as we speak, the roof is coming back and allowing all the folks to get down inside with Michael. They want to get him, they want to lift him straight out of the car. They don't have to try to lift him to that door. So,
yeah, this doesn't necessarily indicate bad injuries. They just want to keep his spine and neck straight. Here is a replay once again. Kenny Wallace and Rick Mast also involved, but they're able to keep going.
We don't know what happened to cause those first two cars to spin. I think those two just spun to avoid the other one. Now here comes Jerry Nadeau as he tries to get his lap back and just barely misses the stall car, the car of Terry Labonte sitting there.
And then almost wrecks the 18 car of Bobby Labonte, who's leading the race.
Well, we certainly do hope that everything is going to be okay for Michael Waltrip, who earlier in the race was just outstanding, having led 12 laps, but his 1999 comes to a grinding halt against the wall in turn 4.
What's for lunch? Cranberry and jelly. Ham and cheese. Another day.
Morning, boys. How are you?
Morning, Mr. France.
Nice looking shirt you got on there.
Doug, these drivers are ready, and they are looking sharp. Right you are, Chuck. There's the green, and the chase is on.
Chase Authentics Apparel.
That's why it's called the Intimidator.
The chase is on.
And it's a fight to the finish.
Congratulations. Thanks, sir. Have a good run today. Yeah, thanks a million. Nice check. Nice shirt. Thanks, you too. Thank you.
If you don't get AC Delco brand name parts, you'd better get a good brand name shoe. AC Delco. If you're not asking for it, you're asking for it.
No matter what kind of car or truck that comes into my shop, there's one brand of automotive parts I can depend on. AC Delco. If you're not asking for it, you're asking for it.
The 1999 NASCAR Winston Cup season ends here today at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And the Napa 500 being brought to you by Coca-Cola Classic, the official soft drink of NASCAR fans. By Chase Authentics, the authentic trackside apparel of NASCAR. And by AC Delco, automotive parts. AC Delco, if you're not asking for it, you're asking for it. Still under caution here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We have a beautiful day here today, and the fans are enjoying not only the nice weather, but the great racing that we have seen so far. A day much unlike last year when we were on the air for 12 hours. We went on the air at 11:30, and we went off the air a little after 11:30 p.m. with all kinds of rain and bad weather. But today we're in real good shape. We're past the halfway mark. They have gotten Michael Waltrip out of the car. They did cut the roof off. They have gotten him out of the car, and he will be, of course, transported to the infield care center, evaluated, and if need be, will be taken to a local hospital. We certainly hope and pray that everything's going to be okay for Michael.
Certainly do. He did have one of his best runs of the year going here today, and as you said earlier, he led the race, just blew him away there for a while.
Pit road has not been open yet because that where they're working on the car is down at the entrance to pit road, so they have not opened it yet too.
John, do you have a cause of this accident?
Bob, I was just listening to some of the spotters, and from Terry Labonte's crew, he said what it looked like to them, Terry was right behind it, is that Michael blew up, got in his own oil, and just spun up into the wall right in front of Terry. So that's what they say happened. Down to Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, a moment ago, Ward Burton came down pit road because he abruptly cut a right front tire. Now, the Goodyear engineer is looking at the tire here. Ward said on the radio he thought he hit something, ran over something on the racetrack. And the Goodyear engineers, as soon as the tire comes off, they come out here and take a look to make sure it's not a problem for anyone else. And he's examining very closely on this tire. As Ward came in, they changed all 4 tires. He hasn't had any other complaints when he left pit road about a vibration, but he said just abruptly he heard this thing just sort of jump and went down as they cut the whole side of the tire out. Take a look, you see where he just absolutely cut, just peeled the tire open, and they think it may have run over some debris on the racetrack. Let's go up to Bill Weber.
Well, Jerry, just to follow up on what John was saying, several of the spotters communicating with their drivers, they seem to feel some of the guys that were trying to race to get a lap back might have helped create that incident on the racetrack, and that's long been, a topic of discussion, whether or not you do or you should race back to the caution. But several spotters say the guys racing back to the caution might have been a little aggressive in that situation and contributed to the wreck.
Well, among the cars involved in that incident, the number 98 of Rick Mast, he is back in the garage area, and again, we worry and wonder about whether he will have his first DNF of 1999. He's the only driver who has not had a DNF all year. And there is the ambulance that has Michael Waltrip being taken to the infield care center. Hopefully we'll be having a report from there and the condition of Michael Waltrip in just a very few moments. We'll be right back.
Exciting episode of
toll-free 1-877-316-SONY.
Back at Atlanta, where pit road is now open, and Bobby Labonte has quick service. He's out. Here's Jerry.
And the Penzo crew now going to work on Steve Park's car. They made an air pressure adjustment. They are within their window now, so they only have to make one more pit stop around lap 270. Here goes the 88 and the 18 racing down pit road. They are 3 wide, and now the 1 car is out as well. Let's check in with John.
No adjustments for Bobby Labonte, just 4 tires, another routine stop for the 18 bunch. To Bill Weber.
Well, Jeremy Mayfield, remember, he gained all the track position by using that two-tire stop. That really paid off for them. In fact, under the caution laps, Mayfield told his crew that's the best the car has been all day. They didn't want to make too many changes. Jeremy was actually concerned about putting 4 fresh tires on it. The car was so good with 2. They put on 4. They went down on the track bar 1/4 of an inch, and they sent him out. Also helping Mayfield under that caution, words of encouragement from Roger Penske, who switched over from Rusty Wallace's channel, talked to Jeremy, said, great job on those 2 tires. Let's see if we can get that finish we need.
Mayfield certainly among the contenders here this afternoon. That car running very, very well. We'll take another quick break before we go back to green flag racing at the Napa 500.
Can't catch me! The rush is on to go see the movie Stuart Little, only in theaters. And to get to Radio Shack. For cool toys that can really play. Barbie RC car, Rugrats Coin Bank, Singin' Jam, Talking Elmo Phone, fun educational toys. And Radio Shack's the only place you'll find the Stuart Little Roadster. Online or in the store, get in, get out, get what you want at Radio Shack.
It's a freedom, adventure. It puts me at one with natural elements, liberating, allows me to clear my head. One of the few things I can do whereby I actually don't hear music in my head. Brings me closer to God, allows me to bask in the wonder of God. Being at the top of a mountain is one of the most incredibly beautiful experiences I've ever had.
Hey! He's in the garage.
Hey! If you're going to have a garage, have a garage. And if you're going to use an oil, use an oil. Pennzoil with Pure Base, specially formulated for stop-and-go driving.
Like what I've done with the place? Hey, what does this do? Well, that opens up the roof so I can airlift anything in or out of the garage.
Stop! Go! Pennzoil. And for long-lasting glossy tires, spring on Black Magic Tire Wet, the original waterproof shine.
They've taken our shirts, our razors. They've even taken our underwear. We don't wear their undies. Well, sometimes, but you know, just for fun. And they've moved in on our aftershaves. But here's one that's definitely just for men. New Whitewater from Old Spice. It's fresh. No, fresher than that. That's it. Sharing's fine. But with aftershave, let's keep it his and hers.
Before you get a life, get a grip. Vice Grip, original locking pliers. The only tool you need.
Listen, I've traveled every road in this here land. I've been everywhere, man. Crossed the deserts bare, man. I breathed the mountain air, man. Of travel I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Reno, Chicago, Fargo, Minnesota, Buffalo, Toronto, Winslow, Sarasota, Wichita, Tulsa, Ottawa, Oklahoma, Tampa, Panama, Mattawa, La Paloma. Travel I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere.
Citgo, you know me.
Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway, still under caution, anticipating the green flag in just a very short time. Well, as NASCAR enters the new millennium, ESPN is going to look back, and we're going to look ahead to NASCAR and Winston Cup racing, the fastest growing sport in America.
If you haven't heard about NASCAR Winston Cup racing, you'll be hearing a lot about it very soon.
Of course, it was all started by Bill France Sr.
Well, he wanted to put some order in it. He could see that the sport was pretty chaotic.
I would have liked to have been there when they started NASCAR and had their visions and actually what was going through the France family's minds and what they thought 50 years would be like. To start the series the way they did and watch it grow into what it's grown, I mean, they obviously had their ducks in a row from day one. They obviously did it the right way, and I think they continue to show that they do things the right way.
This NASCAR 2000 Greatest Moments brought to you by Home Depot, the official home improvement warehouse of NASCAR. Right after the coverage of our race will begin the first of a 4-part series, NASCAR 2000. Tonight's installment involves NASCAR's greatest moments. On February 13th, we'll visit the families of NASCAR. March 18th, the stars of the future. And June 23rd, we'll look further into the new millennium. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. Back in Atlanta in a moment.
For exciting pro and college sports action, look to Cox Digital Cable. Go courtside with NBA League Pass. The teams and matchups you want to see. Up to 40 games a week, all for one low package price. That's NBA League Pass. For the best rivalries in college sports, ESPN Game Plan and ESPN Full Court. And pro soccer fans won't want to miss MLS ESPN Shootout. Call this number now to get in the game with Cox Digital Cable.
Park Avenue, LeSabre, Century, Regal, Casey Buick has the real cars at real savings right now. Get the exact car you're looking for, plus the Casey low price guarantee. Find a lower price, Casey will write you a check for 110% of the difference. And you can rely on Casey's meter beat service pricing and customer care. Price, selection, and satisfaction. That's the difference. The Casey Buick difference. Drive the new Buicks today at Casey Buick, corner of J. Clyde and Jefferson, Newport News.
The Saints do battle with the Jaguars on ESPN Sunday Night Football.
I like playing in New Orleans, but it's hot down there.
It's not the heat, it's the humidity.
Exactly.
Oh, boy, here we go. I can't take the humidity. I always get a bad case of the prickly heat.
Could we get through one night without him mentioning his prickly heat? It's disgusting.
It's the Saints against the Jaguars on ESPN Sunday Night Football. It all begins with NFL primetime at 7:30.
I got a salve that works real good on the prickly heat.
Don't encourage him.
Pennzoil copter cam here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, flying over the condominiums that have been built just outside the actual racing facility. Some suites also over there, just giving the fans a wonderful place to watch a race from. And despite the fact that there was a forecast of rain and the fact that the champion was decided last week, we have a tremendous crowd on hand here this afternoon. Steve Park, who was up front before the pit stops, has come out back in the 7th position. And here's the cockpit summary showing he dropped from 2nd to 7th. Jarrett moved up 1, Mayfield up 1, and Dale Earnhardt stayed the same. How about Tony Stewart? Don't count him out yet. He picked up 3 spots during those pit stops, or pit stop. He was 9th when he came in and now is in 6th. And Rudd still has a good run going. He's up to 4th. Bill?
And Bob, you're right. He does have a good run going. He's had a great day, has that Yates power under the hood that we talked about earlier. Their pit stop, 16.20. Now, you have to give not only Ricky Rudd a lot of credit for today, but the guys in his pit. Remember, he announced a long time ago that he was moving to the Yates team next season. It was expected that a lot of his guys might abandon ship, and some guys did leave for other opportunities. But most of them have stuck around. They just ripped off a 16.20 pit stop, and their guys running for it.
But, Bill, tomorrow they don't have a job, right?
Well, some of them may over at Yates, but basically, you know, if you're looking for some equipment or maybe some guys, you might want to call Rudd's shop because there's an auction coming up in about a week, and some of those guys have their resumes ready. But a win, Benny, that certainly looks good at the top, doesn't it?
Exactly. What did you do last? Well, I worked for Ricky Rudd. Well, did you win? Oh, yeah, we won the last race of the season. I would look at that twice.
Look at the Budweiser snapshot on Jeremy Mayfield, who has been out front for 13 laps during this race. He's currently 3rd, has been as low as 42nd after starting in 23rd. So it's been almost the highest running position to almost the worst for Jeremy Mayfield.
See there on lap 7, he came in and made a pit stop. That was during the very first caution, and apparently he was involved a little bit, or maybe flat spotted his tires, came in and had to go all the way to the rear, and has done a great job in getting himself back up front.
This has been a lengthy caution period, and it continues here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, so we'll take one more break.
Can I see some ID, please? Yeah, you're 21, just barely. That's yours, I guess.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So what you're saying is you can't change your oil every 3,000 miles because you're too busy. So you push it. Hey, it's your car. You want to learn the hard way? Be my guest. This is reformulated Quaker State. Protection beyond 3,000 miles. You ought to change your oil on time, but if you can't, can you say insurance? Quaker State. It's been tested. It works. What more do you need to know?
Buy Quaker State and get a hat or T-shirt from one of your favorite college football teams.
Shop right now at Circuit City and save. All appliances, camcorders, and 32-inch and larger TVs are on sale now. Get this Zenith 25-inch TV for only $188.99. All home and car audio, hi-fi stereo VCRs, and DVD players are on sale too. Like this DVD player with remote for only $169.99. And get special financing on great top brands throughout the store. Save in every department at Circuit City.
You rejoin us just as the field takes the green flag to resume the Napa 500. The green coming out on lap 215. We've got 110.
Before they went back to green, Dale Earnhardt was very concerned about the amount of fluid on the racetrack in turns 3 and 4. He said they needed to put down more speedy dry. If they don't, he thinks they're going to have a problem. He told his spotter, you watch and see who goes up high, because I'm not going till somebody else goes up there first. To Jerry Pines.
It takes total focus and concentration to drive one of these cars at 190+ miles an hour, and that may be very difficult right now for Steve Park. You see, Steve Park is very, very close to Michael Waltrip. He saw him cutting Michael out of his car, and he has asked repeatedly, tell me something, guys, tell me. How is Michael? I want to know. I got to know. I need to know. They have tried to get Steve calmed down, but obviously his mind right now is not on that race car.
We have not had any word whatsoever on the condition of Michael Waltrip, but we assure you that as soon as we hear something, we will pass it along to you. Michael was cut out of the car, taken to the infield care center. That's as much as we know.
That's a camera of the back of Steve Park's car, currently running in 7th position. Looking back at Mike Skinner, he's right behind Tony Stewart. Now, Tony Stewart's another one who's done a great job today.
Whoa, look at Skinner, 3 wide. Oh, he almost touched. Skinner almost went up and bumped Park, and then almost came down on Nemechek.
They're not running quite as fast as Bobby Labonte. He just cut a lap at over 188 miles an hour the last time around. 3 drivers have pulled away. Some great racing going on back in the pack.
There is Jeff Burton, who is in the 9th position.
Mark Martin on the outside of Joe Nemechek. Now closed up right on the back bumper of his teammate, Jeff Burton. He's in 10th position, Mark Martin, the Valvoline Ford.
Skinner cannot be knocked out of the top 10. He is locked into a top 10 finishing position in points. However, he is only 37 behind Ward Burton for 9th. And here's a change of position as Jeremy Mayfield tries to take 2nd from Jarrett.
Another run coming off of turn 4, moved down on the inside, and made it work.
Jeremy Mayfield, Ricky Rudd, and Bobby Hamilton are the 3 drivers who won in 1998 who have not won in 1999. Mayfield looks like he could do it today. Here's a manufacturer's points battle with Ford having already clinched that particular championship. And here's how the Ford drivers are running 5 in the top 10. Earnhardt is the best among the Chevy chauffeurs. Earnhardt Jr. running 15th, and of course the leader of the race is Bobby Labonte in a Pontiac, and his teammate Tony Stewart is now up to 5th.
And Bobby Labonte is checking out on the field. You watch Jeff Burton and Steve Park racing. Martin
has a bird's eye view of what's going on ahead of him as Jeff Burton did take the 8th spot away from Park.
Run down with 104 laps to go. Mark will come off turn 4. We'll see what the sunlight looks like down in. Because we went to a different spot.
Now Park to the inside of Rudd.
Park hasn't been that far back today. He's back there fighting for the 8th position.
Martin goes to the bottom as Ricky Rudd is way up in that higher groove, and Martin takes the position away from Ricky, so that puts the 6th car to 9th. And Ward Burton cut a tire down. He's back in 16th position. There are 17 cars on the lead lap.
So he would have had to go to the end of the longest line because he pitted at that time when the pit road was not open.
Here's a battle for 4th position. Tony Stewart trying to get it from Dale Earnhardt, and does. Don't count Tony out from his 3rd consecutive win. He was complaining a little bit earlier about how the car was working, but it's working well for him now. Meanwhile, here's the battle for 2nd once again between Jarrett and Mayfield.
Mayfield passed Jarrett a few laps ago. Now Jarrett trying to get it back.
And this battle is about 2 1/4 seconds behind the leader, Bobby Labonte. As Ned said, he is checking out. Look at the lead that he has on Dale Jarrett now is in 2nd spot. 2.5 second lead.
Bobby Labonte was fastest that last lap at 183.430, but Jarrett was also very close behind at 183.406. Here's an AutoZone on-track interval, the interval between 1st and 3rd. Bobby Labonte and Jeremy Mayfield from 1.3 seconds on lap 220 to 2.2 on 224.
Look at those speeds, 29.7. The first lap he ran was 30.1. Mayfield had a lap at 30 flat. All those speeds are in seconds.
Less than 100 laps to go.
We'll have one more pit stop to make at least. If there are no cautions, we can do it on one more stop.
Down for a report from John Curtin.
I'm over at the medical center, and Michael Waltrip has just been put onto this evacuation medical helicopter. He's going to be taken to the Atlanta Medical Center for precautionary x-rays only. What we know at this time is Michael is awake and alert, so that's very good news. Once again, he's being airlifted to the Atlanta Medical Center for precautionary x-rays only. But Michael is awake and alert, so very good news.
Well, that is good news.
That Steve Park receives that information. It's good information for all of us. Let's hope that the tests that has to undergo at the hospital all prove negative. Bobby Labonte now with a 2.67 second lead on the rest of the field. On 2nd place, Dale Jarrett. Mayfield 3rd, followed by Tony Stewart, Mike Skinner, Jeff Burton, Earnhardt, Martin, Park, and Rudd.
You know, this place reminds me of a guy I knew named Julius.
Another Darrell Waltrip story.
Oh, really? This guy, he was in the junkyard one day kicking around, and he found a rocket booster. So he says, I'm going to set myself a land speed record. So he got that thing up to speed. He hit the switch. He took off into outer space.
So whatever happened to him?
He came down out here somewhere.
Get out of here.
En route 66.
Now, Kmart.
No multi-million-dollar contracts. No victory laps. Not even a winner's circle. But if you think these weekend warriors who run the SCORE Desert Championship Series take anything for granted, think again. Which is exactly why they run with the Duralast battery from AutoZone. A battery so tough, so dependable, we back it with a 2-year free replacement guarantee. The next time you hit the road, don't settle for anything less.
Introducing the 2000 Daewoo Nubira. Its styling is admired from Rome to Paris. Its engineering has a track record on the highways of Germany. And its 333 Value Plus program provides 3 years of roadside assistance, factory warranty, and all scheduled maintenance at no extra charge. For under $11,000, welcome to a whole new world. The Nubira from Daewoo.
Mark Martin drives 200 laps a race in a counterclockwise motion. All that going in circles is enough to put any man into a deep hunger trance. Hardee's Monster Burger. 2 beef patties, 3 slices of cheese, and 4 strips of bacon. Left, left again, left. That's it, Mark. Just a few more 100 miles to go. The Monster Burger, only at Hardee's.
Here it is, the Dale and Dale Show once again here in Daytona. Earnhardt trying to make move. Look at him switch back and forth. Winning 2 Daytona 500s will be too much. Here he comes to the line, and Dale Jarrett is going to pull it off at Daytona, his second Daytona 500 win. Wow. Man, you're so much as good as he was the first time.
The 1999 champion will certainly be a favorite to win number 3 next February in Daytona. Right now, Dale Jarrett runs in second position, about 2.5 seconds behind Bobby Labonte. He's been in this good battle with Jeremy Mayfield for the last several laps. There is the leader, Bobby Labonte.
He's getting a little bit closer, though. A moment ago, Dale Jarrett was 2.67 seconds behind Labonte. Now he's 2.41 seconds behind.
You heard John Kernan say just a little bit ago that Michael Waltrip is awake and alert. Now watch. This is what happened when he was being taken out of his wrecked car. He stretches the arms and flexes the fingers. That is certainly a good indication that he's not seriously injured. John, do you have more?
Yes, Bob, I'm with Dr. Mark Waterman, here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, the emergency physician director. And Dr. Waterman, did Michael lose consciousness?
Just for a short period of time out on the track, according to the track workers. But he regained consciousness before he came back into the infield care center. And we felt it was necessary to take him up by Georgia Baptist Healthcare System's Life Flight helicopter to Atlanta Medical Center for a precautionary CT scan. But he's looking pretty good right now. No other injuries.
Were there any marks on his helmet? Any marks on his helmet?
No, no marks on his helmet.
All right, thank you. Dr. Mark Waterman, the emergency physician director here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Thanks.
Very good news. Thanks for the update. Well, the interval between first and second is shrinking, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's down under 2 seconds now, 1.85 the last time around. Bobby Labonte ran 180 miles an hour. DJ ran 181. So he is picking up about a tenth or so second a lap.
Here is Rudd, Earnhardt, and Chad Little. And a call to Chad Little because he has been in contention all day. Bill has more on Ricky Rudd.
Well, Bob, Ricky Rudd was 4th on the restart. He is backpedaling through the field, currently running 9th. His car is very loose. Just talked to his crew chief, and obviously they'd like a caution to try and fix, but right now Rudd has his hands full on the racetrack.
Boy, running in that heavy traffic is not good for a loose race car. Not a good feeling, at least.
And like that whole racetrack. You use the entire racetrack, because when you have to abruptly turn the steering wheel because you get close to someone, that's when the back end flies from under the car and you spin out. Dale Jarrett now down to less than 1 3/4 behind the leader. Watch Earnhardt, the 9th place car, down in the corner. That's 10th and 11th right behind you.
Next time by, we'll check the speeds at the line.
12 car was the fastest. He had dropped back about 10 car lengths behind DJ. Picked it up on that lap, but they've cut it down to 1.59 seconds now, the lead from first to second.
And on his on-track interval will document the shrinkage of the lead.
And we see that Bobby Labonte is getting slower and slower. Now he's up to 30.8. He did that each and every time. All 3 of these laps exactly the same. But check it out. Dale Jarrett didn't have one lap that slow. All 5 quicker than that.
17 cars on the lead lap. Elliott Sadler is in 17th position. As we approach 242 laps completed and 84 to go.
Elliott Sadler was able to make up to a lap that he lost way back early in the race when he had a flat tire. And boy, Jeremy Mayfield is not giving up on Dale Jarrett. He is dogging him all the way.
And now they're down to less than a second and a half behind the leader. Both those cars once again faster than Bobby Labonte.
Mayfield was the fastest last lap again with a 180.5. Jarrett second with a 180.4.
Got to be a little bit hard on Jeremy's tires as he comes off the turn 4 on his right front in particular, running that low groove, but he's able to stay right up there with him.
When we come to Atlanta Motor Speedway, we always consider Bill Elliott the hometown favorite. He's been so successful here and lives, of course, in the state of Georgia. He's running back in 23rd position, a lap down.
Right behind Joe Nemechek.
Carrying the Toy Story 2 colors this afternoon.
Well, he also has some of the characters on his car. I know there's a pig on his car.
That's Ham, BP.
Okay, Ham's on his car. And there's a lizard.
Hams come from pigs.
Yep. And there's a lizard on his car.
Don't forget the webcast that's going on right now on the Toy Story 2 website, www.toystory2.com, with in-car cameras, pit road cameras, and a special Toy Story 2 race cam. That's also available on NASCAR.com and ESPN.com.
I'm told that lizard that's on the hood is named Rex.
I mean, you didn't know that?
No, some folks down the trucks have little kids, so they know all this stuff.
Oh. Toy Story 2 is not just necessarily a movie for kids. It's also very enjoyable for the adults, we understand.
Oh, I saw Toy Story. I loved it.
Buzz Lightyear, which is being carried on Kyle Petty's car, also one of the characters in Toy Story 2. Kyle has had a good second half of the year. Today, he is 2 laps down in 27th position.
Bill Elliott just can't get any closer to Joe Nemechek.
There's Kyle Petty. And if you look real close, you can see Buzz Lightyear. Now, considering only the last 6 races that we have run, Kyle has accumulated the 13th highest number of points. Certainly good momentum heading into the year 2000. 9 top 10s this year so far, only 2 in '98.
And we see Dale Earnhardt trying to hold back his employee. That's employer, then 3, black number 3, the employee, the number 1, the yellow car of Steve Park. And Ricky Rudd, he just wants to pass them both.
Remember, Rick is fighting that loose condition on his Tide Ford.
That interval that we talked about between first and second, that at one time was 2.5 seconds. Well, it's now down below a second, and in fact down below 3/4 of a second as Jarrett has turned up the wick. Look at this, 0.6 seconds separate first and second.
That's the leader right directly in front of the Ford Quality Care Ford, Jerry Punch.
Well, Benny DJ said this is the best this car has been all day, and it's proving it on the racetrack. They made an adjustment in the left rear and right rear tires with air pressure. Now, DJ says he's still a little bit tight in the center of the corner. They're going to make the same kind of adjustment on their final pit stop, which will come in about 25 laps. And if it gets any better, DJ may be the man to beat.
Yes, 8 top 5s and 12 top 10 finishes here at Atlanta and 1 win.
But as he marched up on Bobby Labonte, he hasn't lost Jeremy Mayfield. Jeremy is staying right with him there.
And the shadows are becoming more and more a factor as Todd Parrott looks on. 250 laps have been completed. Bobby Labonte leads Dale Jarrett.
We are here today working alongside Habitat for Humanity. You start with something that's just a slab of ground, and you help build a dream alongside the people that are going to live in this home.
I came out to help build a house for Habitat for Humanity. And I came out to see Tony Stewart.
We have NASCAR involved, we have Joe Gibbs involved, we have Tony Stewart involved.
We got some cheap manual labor here. There's something about a home that preserves memories for you.
This is gonna be my own room.
It didn't scare you living in a house with Tony Stewart driving nails? No. Habitat for Humanity is a way to bring people together to help other people.
We try to reach out to the community, really become part of the community, and we're here to really make a difference and to say thank you to the community.
You meet a lot of nice people. You know, everybody treats you like family from the first day, and it's just a great feeling.
The keys to the home, and
thank you.
You're very welcome.
When you want the best of something, you have to ask for it by name. Otherwise, you get the house brand. For my money, Mobil One's the best, and today's Mobil One is even better. It's now tri-synthetic, so compared to conventional oil, well, in terms of protection, there's no comparison at all. Lots of oil change places have Mobil One. You just have to ask. The house brand, I wouldn't put it in my car.
Get this Jeremy Mayfield race car free with a Mobil One oil change or 6-pack at participating outlets.
This Sunday, live, it's Supercross Circuit. Top riders like Albertine, Ward, Wyndham, Henry, Luskin, Larocco duke it out on 25 insane Supercross and motocross tracks. So bring a friend, bring a date, bring your blankie, because Supercross Circuit is something you won't want to miss. Ow!
Thanks, Mom. You're welcome. Get your feet off the table.
We have our 11th different leader at the Napa 500. Dale Jarrett took the lead from Bobby Labonte a couple of minutes ago, and as a matter of fact, Jeremy Mayfield took second. So Bobby's back to third, and here's how DJ got the lead.
Going in turn 3, Labonte, the 18 car in the front. Dale Jarrett just drives down to the bottom of the racetrack and runs right down that white line, and boom, just pulls up right in front of Bobby Labonte.
Rusty Wallace is on pit road. This maybe his last pit stop. Bill, can you see what's going on there?
Yeah, then he came in running 17th on the track. His car hadn't been great, but they weren't that bad either. I'm not sure they can make it from the finish to the finish from here. They got 4 tires and fuel didn't make a chassis adjustment. They may be trying to short pit to see if that'll help them, but right now Rusty with his tires back out on the racetrack.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he can make it from here the rest of the way on fuel.
Looked like he jerked a rubber out, that Hollywood jerked a rubber out of the right rear spring. The right rear tire changer, Mark Armstrong, I think, jerked the rubber out. So evidently Rusty was very, very loose.
The day after Thanksgiving, this coming Friday, Dale Jarrett will celebrate his 43rd birthday. So a premature happy birthday to Dale Jarrett. Here's a Hardee's Field summary. Again, the top 5 in points are staying the same. And in fact, 6 through 10 also stay the same. Good battle still goes on. Ooh, Dale Earnhardt slides way up the racetrack in front of his teammate.
What a slide job that was. And meanwhile, Steve Park has not been able to run that group down and pass him. We saw him racing with his boss a few laps ago, but now he's about a second behind this group. You see the nose of the Pennzoil Chevrolet.
Steve's car either is not as good as it was earlier, or it just doesn't run back in the traffic very well. He's been up front all day long. He made passes for the lead several times, but something is not as good as it was, or everybody else has got better.
And again, a salute to Chad Little, who has had a very good run here this afternoon.
Hey, I thought Chad Little had won the race when he qualified in 12th position. I always kid, ooh, and the one car squeezes between the two. Chad Little tries to come back. I always kid he and Jeff Hammond, the crew chief, talking about Chad Little and Jeff Hammond, the crew chief, about their poor qualifying. And 1999 has been poor qualifying for you guys, but they qualified 12th here. Had a good qualifying run.
Now we understand the reason that Rusty Wallace made that unscheduled pit stop, that he had an equalized tire on the left rear. That sets up a vibration, so he had no choice but to come in. It's too bad because he will have to stop again.
65 laps to go, as you can see there in our rundown of the positions. Mayfield using the very bottom of the racetrack there in the third and fourth turns.
Jeff Burton is running in fourth place, and just almost every lap, Danny, he's running a little bit faster than the leaders. He's running over 180 miles an hour. The leaders are all in the 179 mile an hour bracket.
And Jeff Burton was about 5 seconds behind the leader. He's now less than 3.5 seconds, so he is closing in. See the damaged car of Kenny Wallace letting the leaders go by.
Now Mayfield high this time.
Well, Labonte's able to stay with him. They ran him down in a hurry, but he's been able to stay with them since they passed him.
And Jeremy goes right down to that white line. Trying to get alongside the 88 car. Can't quite do it. Great battle. And I think these three cars are pretty doggone close.
Yes, they are.
On board with Bobby.
This is a Circuit City onboard camera.
Well, the 6 car of Mark Martin, who has been among the first to pit in every sequence, is doing so again. Bill Weber, he's headed toward you.
263 laps on the scoring pylon along pit road. Mark Martin 3,800 and third down pit road. This will be a 4-tire stop. The window is open. They're going to make a track bar adjustment. Remember, he's been too tight all day. So they're going to try and loosen him up one more time. Left side tires going on. All the fuel you can get in there just to make sure you get to the finish. The water bottle comes out. And Martin heads out.
Wow, great pit stop for the crew. The Valvoline crew, 15.6 seconds. Anything under 16 seconds, folks, is fantastic.
We are waiting for other pit stops, including those running up front. Frankie Stoddard waits his driver, Jeff Burton, to come in. Jeff right now fourth. We'll be right back.
Available at GEX in Hampton and Newport News.
Yeah! Who's the man? Yeah! All right! It's my birthday! It's my birthday! Oh, it's so pretty! Oh, I told you! Don't be bringing that weak stuff in here! Yeah! Who's the man? Who's the man?
Exercised lately?
Following is brought to you by Hoops Malone.
What's with the big sandwich, Hoops?
Hey, I'm getting ready for tournament week. First up, it's the Mass Mutual U game as Kevin Freeman and UConn battle Monty Mack and UMass. Then it's off to Maui where Ed Cota drives the Tar Heels against the Trojans. And later, Georgetown tackles the Tigers. UMass UConn at 7 on ESPN2, North Carolina Southern Cal at 9 on ESPN, Georgetown Memphis at 11:30 on ESPN2 tomorrow.
Nobody does hoops like ESPN and ESPN2.
Talking to your kids about drugs and alcohol is important, but it's only half the job. The other half is learning how to listen.
Dads, talk to your kids.
Back in Atlanta, where Dale Jarrett continues to lead the Napa 500, we have seen some pit stops. Ward Burton in, so is Jeff Burton. He was one of the fastest cars on the track when he came in. Also making pit stops, Jeremy Mayfield and Bobby Labonte while we were in commercial break. Dale Earnhardt also is going to make a pit stop. And Ricky Rudd is in. Bill is there.
Remember, Ricky Rudd's car has been very loose on this set of tires, so he gets 4 tires, air pressure adjustment, fuel going in, Rudd heading out. Now, slow getting started, but now he takes off.
See Steve Park pitted there at the bottom of your screen. He comes out behind Rudd. Here comes Dale Jarrett dropping down off the 24 degrees of banking and heading for his pit stall. Jerry, he's headed toward you.
What could be the final pit stop of the 1999 NASCAR season for the new NASCAR Winston Cup champion? 3,500 RPM. That's what they remind Dale Jarrett coming down. 5 of the 7 guys making this stop may not ever make a pit stop again for this team. Remember, a new crew coming over from the Rainbow Warriors to begin the year 2000 season. They cleaned the windshield. They've made another slight air pressure adjustment to make the car turn better in the middle of the corner. The windshield very, very dirty. The left front tire going on. They got problems with the left front. They finally get on, and Jarrett is away.
Still a 17.4 pit stop. Not bad at all. And there is the 12 car of Jeremy Mayfield. Now, Tony Stewart has been leading, but he comes in for a pit stop, John Kernan.
And the Tony Stewart's crew has a problem with the rear tire changer's air gun. Apparently, it either broke or a lug nut got jammed, so they've had to use the other air gun. They only have one air gun. They got to get the lug nuts back on the left front. They're telling Gerald Shires to come over with another one and put the lug nuts in. Tighten up the lug nuts on the left front. This will just be a 2-tire change. Oh, what a problem for Tony Stewart. They got the left front finally tightened. He is down and away. I'll go check and see if it was a lug nut, a jam lug nut, or if it was just to Jerry Punch.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. came down pit road, and as he was coming into his pit, the tire carrier ran out, and Earnhardt hit the tire carrier. He went up across the hood, came down off the hood, looked to be okay, went on around to the front of the car, and changed the front tires. From our vantage point, it was hard to see if it was Tony Eury Jr. or the tire carrier, but both are okay. Earnhardt very quickly jammed on the brakes so the guy wouldn't roll up across the windshield, but a near serious injury here in the pit.
And a long and agonizing 41-second pit stop for Tony Stewart. Here is the driver now who picks up the lead, the 21 of Elliott Sadler.
Rusty Wallace about to get back on the lap. But remember, Rusty's going to have to stop again. Joe Unicek comes into the pits now. But Elliott has not made that pit stop, maybe about 2 now. Looks like he's slowing down.
This is only the 3rd race that he has led in 1999, his rookie year. Most recently at Daytona in July. Down to John Kernan.
Well, I told you I didn't know if it was a broken air gun or a jammed lug nut, but this is what happened to the rear tire changer, Gerald Shires. Lug nut got jammed in there, and I mean, that thing is jammed in there so much they're going to have to pry it out. But that was the problem on Tony Stewart's pit stop.
It's dropped him a lap down back to 16th position. Here is the battle for 3rd between Dale Jarrett and Jeff Burton.
And Dale Jarrett, we talked about Jeff Burton being about 3.5 seconds behind these guys, and we saw DJ's pit stop, Ned. It was about 17.5-second pit stop, which allowed Burton to get right up on his rear bumper. Those pit stops down in everything going on in the pit area is so doggone critical. If you can't do it around 16 seconds, you're going to lose positions.
Yeah, they're running 6.5 seconds behind the leader now. DJ stayed, both of them stayed out there for a good while, and here is the pit stop that we're talking about.
Come around. Rear tires coming off. Left front tire comes off. They have trouble getting the tire up on the hub. The rear guys are all done. Brad Parrott is finished. Finally, the left front guy finishes and the car leaves, but it's about 2 seconds slow.
And the fact that they stayed out there longer than did Jeremy Mayfield and Bobby Labonte, they were out there for about 5 or 6 laps on fresh tires, so they've been able to build up a big lead.
Leader is Jeremy Mayfield with about a 1 3/4 second advantage over Bobby Labonte. Jarrett, Jeff Burton, Mark Martin complete the top 5. There are now 13 cars on the lead lap.
Can't catch me! The rush is on to go see the movie Stuart Little, only in theaters. And to get behind the wheel of outrageous remote-controlled cars, only at Radio Shack. Wheel-spinning action, high-flying jumps, zigzagging excitement that'll drive kids wild. And Radio Shack's the only place you'll find the Stuart Little Roadster. One-liner in the store. Get in, get out, get what you want at Radio Shack.
Just because you're in front doesn't mean you sit back and watch the others try and catch up. If you can make a great thing better, you do it. And that's what they've done with today's Mobil 1 Tri-Synthetic. That's a bit of a mouthful, but basically it means Mobil 1 protects against engine wear better than ever before. Helps your anti-pollution gear work better too. For me, using anything less just isn't an option.
Get this Jeremy Mayfield race car free with a Mobil 1 oil change or 6-pack at participating outlets.
What's for lunch?
Hamburger and jelly. Ham and cheese. Another day.
Morning, boys.
Another dollar.
How are you?
Morning, Mr. France.
Nice looking shirt you got on there.
Doug, these drivers are ready, and they are looking sharp. Right you are, Chuck. There's the green, and the chase is on.
Chase Authentics Apparel.
That's why it's called the Intimidator.
The chase is on.
And it's a fight to the finish.
Congratulations. Thanks, sir. Had a good run today.
Yeah, thanks a million.
Nice check.
Nice shirt.
Yeah, thanks. You too.
Thank you.
Chuck, it's Rennie. I'm stuck. Call me back.
Rennie, we're doing shadow puppets. Call me.
Chuck.
Rennie.
Call me back.
You just left me a message. I'm not going to touch my phone. Call me.
Tired of phone tag? Nextel's the only national wireless carrier with Direct Connect, a digital two-way radio feature. So, instead of reaching Chuck's voicemail, you can actually reach Chuck. Nextel, how business gets done.
Tonight at 8:15 on ESPN Sunday Night Football, it's Ricky Williams and the Saints traveling to Jacksonville to take on Mark Brunell and the Jaguars. Then at 9 o'clock on ABC's Monday Night Football, Tim Brown and the Raiders battle the Denver Broncos in an AFC West Division matchup. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive home for the NFL in prime time. The Pennzoil Copter Cam continues to provide the overhead shots here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. 1.54-mile quad oval, about 40 miles south of downtown Atlanta in Hampton, Georgia. We have completed 282 of the 325 laps that will make up the Napa 500 and conclude the 1999 NASCAR Winston Cup season. Jeremy Mayfield, who has only one career win in this series, that came at Pocono in June of '98, is the leader. Second place belongs to Bobby Labonte. There he is. Last lap it was 1.49 seconds. Let's see what it is this lap. 1.55, is it?
So he lost a tenth of a second a lap.
But I think that Jeremy Mayfield's crew has told him that the 18 car was gaining on him, and he needed to try a different line. Jeremy had been running high all the way around the racetrack. We saw him that time down on the bottom of the racetrack, and the caution flag is out.
Car in the wall, we understand. Bringing out another caution, and that's Buckshot Jones. Smoke coming from the rear end of the car. We don't see any damage from this angle, and the car is moving. So maybe not a hard hit for Buckshot, but it does bring out another caution, and it's our 7th of the afternoon. It comes out on lap 285.
And Ed, I would expect these leaders, although they can probably go the rest of the way on fuel, I would expect them to come back in for tires.
Yeah, I think they will. There are 12 cars on the lead lap now. Rusty Wallace, we said he was going to have to make another pit stop. He'll get to do that now, but unfortunately, he's just a lap down. He was just right behind the leaders.
Upper left of your screen. Well, there's Buckshot in the wall. He got up and scraped it pretty good.
Hard to tell what might have happened to Buckshot's 00.
But in any case, another caution.
And as the drivers come down, no, they aren't making pit stops.
I don't think the pits are open yet.
Open. Okay. No, they were not.
The pace car has not picked up the field yet.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
There is the indication that the pits are closed.
Jeremy Mayfield was saying, doggone it. Wants to win a race here in 1999 so badly, and had about a second and a quarter, second and a half lead, and guess how far that lead is right now, about 3 feet.
A reminder coming up next here on ESPN, the first of 4 installments of NASCAR 2000 that will air beginning later today and then in the year 2000. Greatest moments from NASCAR racing, the first topic. Then later tonight, a 1-hour post-race coverage, NASCAR Today special at 8:30 and RPM tonight at 9 o'clock. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. All right, now we should be seeing the pit stops.
Yeah, I believe we'll see them come in.
And who might just change right sides? Jeremy, remember how well his car ran on right sides?
Good point.
Will he do that again?
Good point. I would bet he would.
They come down off the banking.
First 5 cars all come down pit road. Bobby Labonte, the first one to stop.
Down to John Kernan.
Bobby Labonte in his finish. We show you a triple split, the 12, 18, the 88, a track bar adjustment on Labonte's car, still a little bit too tight to Bill Weber.
Jeremy Mayfield said don't change a thing. It's 4 tires and 4 to 5 gallons of fuel just for balance. To Jerry Punch.
Dale Jarrett still a little bit tight in the middle of the corner. 18 is out, 12 is rolling, the 88 still in the pits there. They took a pound down to the right front as Jeff Burton beats them all out. This is the final pit stop, and of those 3, looks like Bobby Labonte had the best at 15.3 seconds.
So I guess that Jeff and Ward Burton changed right sides, I'm guessing.
I would think that would be the case.
Wow.
Well, 286 laps completed, and everybody's okay to go the distance now. We'll be back in just a moment with more of the Napa 500.
NASCAR driver Jeff Burton goes head-to-head with everyday driver Eileen.
My car has a 750 horsepower high compression engine.
My car has an engine.
I can cruise all afternoon at 180 miles per hour.
I'll stick to 55, thanks.
I start my engine with a powerful Exide NASCAR Select battery.
Me too. Thanks.
The Exide NASCAR Select battery. It's not just for race cars.
Hey, Jeff. Now listen, I got it right here, buddy. It's icy cold and tasting great. Now come on, Jeff, you tell me. Is there anybody in this world who deserves this here Pepsi more than you?
Hi, Jeff.
See you later, Jeff.
Now that's what I call motivation.
I don't know where she came from.
Don't worry, Jeff. There's always Daytona.
These are Cobalt tools, the finest mechanics tools you can buy in any store. They've got contoured handles for a better grip. And the K-drive that grabs fasteners on the sides, not the corners, which means more torque, less rounding, and less slippage. So Cobalt tools can stand up to anything. From where I'm standing, that's a very good thing. Cobalt, setting the standard in mechanics tools. Made in the USA and guaranteed forever. At Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse and online.
Oh, Mom, it's great. My first apartment. You should see it. It's huge.
When you've got things to talk about, it's a good idea to dial 10-10-321 first.
And I got a great view of the river.
With 10-10-321, you get 50% off calls over 10 minutes. That's just 8 cents a minute, day or night, and no monthly fees. And at 50% off, you can share every last detail.
And I even have a garden.
Talk as long as you want with 10-10-321.
Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, most pit stops have been completed. Jerry Punch.
Well, the Burton brothers made quick pit stops because both only changed right side tires. And it worked for Jeff Burton, but Ward Burton is now back on pit road because they let the lug nuts loose on one of the wheels. So they're going to come back in, pull a rubber out, put left side tires on. The left rear coming off. Tommy Baldwin, who was wearing a crew cam earlier today. The car is down and away, so he is leaving pit road.
He got himself up in the top 5 by just changing 2 tires, but now there are only 12 cars on the lead lap, so when he came back in, decided to go ahead and change those left side tires too, which was smart.
So what do you think about Jeff Burton's decision to take 2? It's put him up front.
Well, he's had a good race car. He really has, so he's looking for that track position, and we'll see what he can do with it.
Tommy Baldwin, crew chief on Ward Burton, because of the extra pit stop that they have to make.
He's telling the guys how he wants it done next time.
That's the job of a crew chief, to keep your employees motivated and hoping to do a better job next time. Green flag coming out.
Hey, green flag, green flag.
outside.
Boy, quickly, Bobby Labonte asserts the authority and goes to the front.
And here comes the 20 car, Tony Stewart. All these cars trying their best to get a lap back. Now look at the 99 car go up the racetrack. Here comes Jeremy Mayfield.
Well, apparently those two tires, at least in the early laps here, are not working for them.
Rusty Wallace is, for the moment, back on the lead lap in 13th spot, but Bobby Labonte has taken the lead. Jeremy has moved to second.
Dale Jarrett has got by even third place.
Yep.
Bobby Labonte will check out here if they aren't careful. They're back there in traffic and can't do any better. Jeremy Mayfield and Dale Jarrett. Labonte up there out of that traffic. On the car he has in front of him is Rusty Wallace.
There's Ward Burton. And all of a sudden, Ricky Rudd's car is not up to speed.
Understand that Rudd and Jeffrey Bodine touched last lap.
Rudd's car very, very slow in front of David Green there in the 45 car.
Green from his first pole last weekend at Homestead. Had to take a provisional to get into the field here this weekend.
And once again, Jeremy Mayfield is hung up. That's the 12 car hung up behind the 20. Tony Stewart in the 16 of Kevin LePage. Just can't get by.
Well, Jarrett's car is pushing up the racetrack. Here comes Dale Earnhardt Jr. around him, and the 99 car also coming by. They're trying to.
And Jeff Burton and Dale Jarrett are running for third spot. Burton moves to the inside of Dale. And while all this is happening, Bobby Labonte is saying see ya. He has put Rusty Wallace a lap down again.
I was kind of concerned that we see the 99 car trying to get by Dale Jarrett. I was kind of concerned that the 20 car might hold up.
And another caution as Robert Presley is at the wall.
Looks like he might hit the wall again. No, he's going slow enough this time. He's able to keep it off the wall. And Rusty, I think, got a lap back. Rusty Wallace.
Bobby had just passed him, but he could have gotten back around when he saw the caution flag. So Robert Presley comes in after hitting the wall. By the way, Ryan Pemberton is going to be the crew chief on this car in the year 2000. The Jasper engines and transmission Ford has considerable damage, though, to the right side. Here's a replay.
There he is, the blue car up on the outside of the racetrack right now by himself, and there he slips right up into the wall. No other car involved.
Caution coming out on lap 294. We're nearing to the end of this race, but a couple of quick cautions have slowed the pace. We'll be back in just a moment.
Ever since Mobil 1 came along, other oil companies have tried to copy it to make a synthetic of their own. But if you take a look at how a copycat performs after some hard miles and compare it to today's Mobil 1, it's obvious that all synthetics aren't alike. Mobil 1 is tri-synthetic. It won't sludge up on you. It'll actually make your engine run smoother. The other stuff, not in my car.
Get this Jeremy Mayfield race car free with a Mobil 1 oil change or 6-pack at participating outlets.
Light, heat, and time are all enemies of beer. We can protect the beer from light with a brown bottle, and protect beer from heat by ensuring that we keep it in a temperature-controlled environment. We then make sure that the consumer enjoys that beer as soon as possible. We are the only major domestic brewer that uses a born-on dating system to ensure that our customers get the absolute best, most cared for, most perfect beer they can buy.
There's something special about the folks who work at AutoZone. The fact that they know more than a thing or two about looking up parts and solving problems. Their willingness to go the extra mile. And their belief in doing what's right. So it's no wonder why millions of customers turn to us each week for help in getting back on the road. Because working at AutoZone means taking pride in taking care of people.
some of America's most successful people get their start? Did somebody say McDonald's?
Out here, time is money, big money. You got this many men and machines spread out over 30 acres, anything can happen. Some days I just need extra equipment. Dozers, trenchers, even the small stuff. These guys aren't gonna wait around. I can't wait, so I call Nations Rent. They got what I need. They get it here when I need it. It's newer, it works. Got no time for excuses.
Nations Rent. 1-800-NO-SWEAT.
ESPN wraps up the 99 Winston Cup season here today with the Napa 500 at Atlanta being brought to you by Mobile One. Nothing outperforms Mobile One. By Rudy's Farm, farm fresh flavor you can trust. Proud sponsor of car number 30. And by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, official beer of NASCAR. Hey, race fans, this Bud's for you. Still under caution for Robert Presley's visit to the retaining wall.
We would tell you that the lights are off or on the top of the pace car, except they fell off. They don't have any lights on top of the pace car.
Yep. Before Robert Presley had his problem, we told you that there was a bumping incident between the 30 car of Jeffrey Bodine and the 10 of Ricky Rudd. Let's look at this a little closer here.
There we see Jeffrey Bodine, and Rudd goes down in the grass. When he comes back up, he makes a little bit of contact with Jeffrey Bodine as the 97 car of Chad Little goes by.
Ward Burton going by there on the outside of Jeffrey.
Now we see Rusty Wallace down on the inside. We said that he might have gotten his lap back. Well, he didn't. They held him at the line, and so he is one lap down in the 13th position. 12 cars on the lead lap.
We have had 8 different leaders. We have had, 15 different leaders and 38 lead changes here in this race, a season high.
This has been a very good automobile race.
Yep.
That's the way we needed to end the season.
Yes, sir.
A good race.
Good crowd, good race.
The most laps have been led by Bobby Labonte, 119. Steve Park has led 72. Down to Bill quickly.
Earlier in this race, Rusty Wallace let Bobby Labonte go on the restart. So Mayfield's crew went and told Tony Stewart about that and said, we expect that same courtesy. Also, Rusty Wallace has been warned to make sure you don't get in the way of Jeremy Mayfield. Green's out. Here we go.
With Rusty Wallace and Jeremy Mayfield, teammates.
26 laps to go.
All right, Jeremy was able to clear the track. And he's got one more car in front of him. That's a very important car, the 18, the Interstate Battery Finance. And Bobby Lamonte's car, when these tires are fresh, that car is very, very good for several laps.
Didn't come in. His car seemed to be washing up the racetrack before the caution came out. And the very first lap, he did the same thing again. Maybe waiting for it to come in. Didn't want to get the track position. I can understand that. And maybe there's something that I don't know about. Probably is. Maybe they didn't stop.
Right now, Jeremy Mayfield is 1/3 of a second behind Bobby Labonte. That time by, Bobby Labonte was just a shade quicker. But Dale Earnhardt was the quickest car of any of them that last lap, over 186 miles per hour.
He's moved up to 4th place around Jeff Burton.
Artie's field summary, everybody staying pat in the top 5 and in the top 10.
Labonte just a little bit less than a half second, so he is slowly increasing the lead on Jeremy Mayfield. We've seen this happen before, but there's going to be a point that Jeremy Mayfield starts gaining on Bobby Labonte. But will the race be over when that point comes around?
Labonte has visited victory lane 4 times in 1999 at Dover. He swept both events at Pocono, and he won the 2nd race at Michigan. Here in Atlanta, he has won 3 of the last 6. Was 2nd here this spring and has recorded the most top 5s and the most top 10s on super speedways in 1999. The Pennzoil Copter Cam, again, we thank them for not only today but throughout the season for providing the aerial shots that have complemented our coverage so much. Thank you guys very much.
MC Earnhardt on the outside. Tony Stewart right behind him. Kevin LePage, the TV guy, crawling the inside. Our pole sitter is back in 17th position. He's a couple laps down.
You see all these cars passing Jeff Burton. He was leading the race after the caution before last and took up 2 tires. And I bet he's wishing, man, I wish we would put 4 tires on this thing. Of course, he had an opportunity to do that after the other caution came out, but I don't think they'd had time really to see whether it was going to work or not.
Chad Little looking maybe to make it 3 wide. Back in behind Chad LePage coming off turn 4.
LePage and the 20 car of Tony Stewart, they are racing 4th position. So is Chad Little and his teammate, the 99 car of Jeff Burton. And here comes Mike Skinner, the Lowe's car, down on the inside. He is currently in 7th. Jeff Burton is in 6th. Chad Little in 5th. Oh, little contact looked like between Mike Skinner and Ricky Rudd.
I think when Ricky slid up there, he got into Skinner just a little bit, so Skinner goes back around.
And unless things change dramatically, Ricky Rudd's streak will end with 16 consecutive seasons of winning at least 1 race. He's in the top 10. He's 8th right now, but there are a lot of other faster cars that would appear ahead of him.
Yeah, it would have been neat to see him. Of course, it's still possible, but not very probable, to extend that, because he will have a good shot to extend it next year when he goes to Robert Yates.
And right now, Bobby Labonte is driving away from the 12 car of Jeremy Mayfield. He's pulled up for a 2.5 lead.
There is Labonte. You understand, you see Jeremy's car down there on the white line on the bottom in turns 3 and 4. We understand he may be pulling out all stops, maybe changing the group to see if he can cut into that interval.
Now that lap he ran the same speed as Bobby Labonte. The 77 car is going to hold him up just like it did Labonte a little bit.
3rd fastest car on the racetrack that past lap was
Mark is back in 9th position. He did come in on this last caution and made a pit stop, Mark Martin. So he gave up track position. His fresher tires.
See, that time by, Jeremy Mayfield passing the 77 car. Off turn 2, he lost a half second to the leader. And as you can see,
the Jarrett team is huddled, probably in prayer, hoping that their driver can record another winner and cap off this incredible season. Jarrett runs 3rd right now, about 3 1/3 seconds behind Bobby Labonte.
that time by Bobby Labonte increased his lead to 2.41 seconds on Jeremy Mayfield.
And he's coming up on 15 laps to go.
Right now, just getting farther and farther away from Jeremy Mayfield. There we see Earnhardt, Jeff Burton, Mark Martin, and Chad Little. All those cars racing for position. That's 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Mark Martin moved all the way up to 4th. He has sliced through this field since that green flag fell.
There's the 3 in the 99 and the 1 in the 22. This is for the 11th position. So another driver that appears will not win is Steve Park, but boy, what a run he had today.
So Steve Park has a lot to hang his hat on for the year 2000 based on his accomplishments here today at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, because you're right, the first half of the race he looked like the car to beat.
Momentum so important. Your performance in the last race carries over for 2.5 months at Daytona.
And up in front, Mike Skinner, we saw him up battling for the 5th or 6th spot a moment ago. Now he's back battling the 4 car for the 9th position.
'99 has been a much better season for Bobby Labonte than 1998. He is second in points this year, finished 6th last year, has 4 wins compared with 2 in '98, has doubled the number of top 5s, and that all-important DNF number decreased from 6 to just 1.
He has had a great year. Joe Gibbs and the Interstate Battery crew have done a whale of a job.
As the laps wind down here with now only a little over 10 to go, we're going to show you field summary and give you the point standings once again, because we may be off the air quickly and we want to make sure that you know where everybody is going to finish in the top 10 so you can be prepared for our banquet coverage from the Waldorf Astoria a week from Friday night. The top 10 did not change today, or have not so far. Steve Park is going to move, it appears, up 1 position. Kenny Schrader down 1.
Jimmy Spencer, because of his hard crash earlier on, will lose a couple of spots.
Little and LePage will trade 24th and 25th position. Here's 7th and 8th, Rudd and Earnhardt.
Chad Little there in 6th, right in front of him.
Great run today for Chad Little. Again, something very, very good to build on the next season.
You know, the '98 car has been back behind the wall for most of the afternoon. He's 187 laps down, and I just had a feeling he was waiting until nearly the end of the race so he could come back out, be running at the finish, and end 1999 as the only driver who has been running at the finish of each and every one of the 34 events.
Yeah, I had a feeling they'd be able to do that too, Bob. That was their total mission after they got behind in the beginning, as we see this battle here for 2nd place.
Barrett about to take 2nd from Mayfield, does.
Meanwhile, this battle is going on with just 8 laps to go. 3 3/4 seconds behind the leader, Bobby Labonte. Jeremy Mayfield pulls a slide job, gets 2nd back.
Up until this last couple of laps, DJ had been gaining a little bit on Bobby Labonte, but he was way too far behind him to mount any kind of a charge. But now he's lost even more with this battle he's having here.
Coming up on 6 circuits to go in the Napa 500 and the '99 NASCAR Winston Cup season. Bobby Labonte leads in one other category. In 1999, he has completed the most laps this year, 98.8% of the laps raced.
And Coach Bobby Labonte today started in the 37th position. Took a provisional after his poor qualifying on Friday.
And the lowest start prior to today of a Napa winner was 21st. That happened the last 2 races. The lowest start by any Atlanta winner came in the spring of 1980. Dale Earnhardt won from 31st position. There's car owner Joe Gibbs, Stewart, and Bobby Labonte. 3 won the last 3 Winston Cup races. As this battle continues to rage, as close as we are to the finish, Jarrett and Mayfield are going at it.
Jeremy moved up to that high line there, because DJ's been running that high line too until he catches Jeremy. He's going to go right down to the wire battling for it. 4 more laps to go.
On the slower car, Robert Presley, he moves to the inside and lets both DJ and Jeremy pass by.
Well, now, I'm wondering why DJ don't jump down there to the inside where he made the pass. We'll watch this battle now, the 22 and the 1.
This is 411th.
And here we go again. Mayfield's going to make the pass on that, so maybe the DJ did jump down on the inside and it didn't work. So. Been what, $140,000 bonus if DJ could have won the race today,
yeah,
or something like that from Winston.
The leader bonus.
2 laps to go, and they still. I bet this wasn't the lead go. This is pretty doggone exciting stuff.
It's good stuff. Bobby Labonte out there just riding away from him. He's up now to a little over 3 seconds.
I think he's backpedaling a little bit right now.
Yes, he should be. Got him a run again. Let's see what he can do.
Down to the line. Flag with just about a fender advantage for second position. But the white flag is out, and we are on the final lap of the season. Bobby Labonte started 37th today. He is going to be only the second time the professional starter has won in '99. Jeff Burton did it at Loudon in July of this year. Here is Labonte. Recording his 4th Atlanta win, his 7th top 5 in 14 races at this facility, and Jarrett took second from Mayfield. It is Bobby Labonte's 5th win of 1999, his 12th career victory, and it comes in his 224th start. There's the winning team. Here is the championship team of Robert Yates, Todd Parrott, and the others. And there are the 2 winners from today and the season. And again, we have saluted him throughout the telecast, but heartfelt congratulations once again to Dale Jarrett and the entire Jarrett family for winning the 1999 NASCAR Winston Cup champion. Jarrett wraps up the championship. We will have a much lengthier tribute to the champion in our post-race coverage tonight at 8:30 on ESPN2. We certainly encourage you to watch that. Jarrett walking off with the championship trophy and becoming the 23rd driver to win a Winston Cup championship in the 51st season of NASCAR racing. And he will take the victory lap in front of the Atlanta crowd.
That's pretty neat. Salute the fans.
Yep.
Well, it's pretty neat for the Jarrett family to see him be able to do that. Giving Robert Yates his first ever NASCAR Winston Cup championship. A very well-deserved one for Robert and the entire crew and DJ.
Jarrett was in first place the last 24 races of the season. Well, here are the results, the unofficial results. As 12 cars finished on the lead lap. Rusty Wallace finishing in 13, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. having a very impressive one, and it's going to be very interesting to see the Rookie of the Year battle next year between Dale Earnhardt Jr., Matt Kenseth, and a lot of others.
Elliott Sadler finished in 16th after losing a lap very early in the race.
See, all of these drivers back here had major problems of one sort or another, and then the other, of course, you can see were out with the race. But Rick Mask, he did finish the race.
Yep.
Kept that streak alive.
Finished 41st, but he was running at the end of the event. Bobby Labonte has found his way to victory lane and is about to emerge from his Interstate Batteries Pontiac. Here's our McDonald's winner's circle and Bill Weber.
Well, a victorious Bobby Labonte climbed out of the car. The crew wasn't even here yet, but you celebrated anyway. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. I tell you what, this Interstate Batteries Pontiac was great all day. We had great, quick, short runs like that there at the end, and before that we had a great run, and Jeremy and Dale caught me, and man, I think I just pushed my right front tire off. I was going too quick to begin with, but car felt great. You know, this thing was didn't qualify good on Friday. We worked on it all day yesterday, and it's pretty awesome today.
How did you do that? Because you weren't very good on Friday. You started with a provisional, your only provisional of the season. You weren't that good early yesterday. Then you broke a practice motor, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, we did everything wrong this weekend, it seemed like. But, you know, these guys never gave up. You know, we knew we could run good here, but, you know, actually when I got here Friday, I was so loose, I was too scared to run. I mean, I could not run because I was afraid I was going to wreck, you know. So, you know, we just took a time, you know, got my confidence built back up all day Saturday and, you know, got it going. So, but anyway, this Interstate Pontiac was great today, and what a way to end the year, end the millennium, right?
Very good for you. It has been a great year for you, for Tony, and for Joe Gibbs Racing.
It has been. You know, Joe Gibbs has done a great job with this race team. Jimmy Maycar, you know, everybody, all our sponsors, Interstate, Wards, MB&A, Easy Care. I'm going to say a lot of them here, but Ditch Witch, Champion, Action, Coca-Cola. We got a lot to mention, but anyway, all the rest of them, I mean, they've all been great, and Joe Gibbs has put together a great team, and Jimmy Maycar is very instrumental in everything, and it's just been a lot of fun. You know, this Pontiac ran great today, and to end the year with 5 wins is just unbelievable. I just can't believe it. You know, congratulations to Dale Jarrett again for winning the championship. He deserved it, and Jeremy Mayfield had a great run today. Steve Park had a great run, and don't know how Michael is, but our thoughts and prayers are out to him.
Michael apparently doing okay at this point, just so you know, but obviously 5 wins is a great season, but Jarrett got the total prize, and that's what you want to challenge for again next year.
Well, I do, but, you know, he was the best car every weekend this year, and we had our mistakes that we needed to fix up on, so we'll work on that next year.
Okay, your family's here. Congratulations, Bobby.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Well, 8 of the top 10 in the points going in could have changed, but they didn't, as we take our hat off once again to Dale Jarrett for winning the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship. He has completed his victory lap and now is coming in to receive the congratulations of everybody along pit road and the fans gathered here today. So everybody in the top 10 stays the same. No positions changed. Those are the 10 drivers that'll be on stage to receive congratulations at the Waldorf Astoria in our live coverage a week from Friday night in Midtown Manhattan. Dale Jarrett's final point margin, 201. We have to get off the air. However, don't forget 1 hour of post-race coverage, including a lengthy tribute to Dale Jarrett and a NASCAR Today special that begins at 8:30 on ESPN2, followed by RPM Tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. We congratulate everyone who made the 1999 season the best ever. We at ESPN and ABC say thank you to all race fans, and we look forward to next year at Daytona. We will have our regular coverage beginning at Daytona in February. So we look forward to the beginning of the new millennium, the new century, the year 2000, and yet another year of NASCAR Winston Cup competition. Bobby Labonte wins the Napa 500 to end the 99 season, and Dale Jarrett is the winner of the 1999 Winston Cup Championship. We'll be back at 8:30. For now, so long, everyone.
This has been a presentation of ESPN, proud to celebrate another moment from our first 20 years. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network. Go.com. ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
If you haven't heard about NASCAR Winston Cup racing, you'll be hearing a lot about it very soon.
Of course, it was all started by Bill France Sr.
But he wanted to put some order in it. He could see that the sport was pretty chaotic.
I would have liked to have been there when they started NASCAR and had their visions and actually what was going through the France family's minds and what they thought 50 years would be like. To start the series the way they did and watch it grow into what it's grown, I mean, they obviously had their ducks in a row from day one. They obviously did it the right way, and I think they continue to show that they do things the right way.
Well, I think the first NASCAR memory has to be the Daytona race with Petty and Pearson, crashing, coming for the win. I remember that forever. I think I remember because I had a bet on. I was betting on Petty, and I think my brother had Pearson, so that was that stuck in my mind. But Then the other Daytona race where they had a fight on the back straightaway with Allison and Yarborough, and I thought that was pretty cool.
I was 4 years old, I guess, when he won his 200th win at Daytona, when Ronald Reagan was there and all that. And that was pretty exciting. And being there for that was a proud moment in the Petty family.
It's all come down to this one particular lap that he wins the championship, when in reality they spent a whole year trying to win this.
I never met Alan or never knew Alan, but you know, a lot of people that I worked around or a lot of people I raced against knew him, you know, when he used to race up in the same area we did, and to go down there by himself and own his own team and win the championship was pretty neat to be from Wisconsin.
You know, Dale Earnhardt's, he's been trying to win the Daytona 500 for a long time. Just things have happened, and to see him win it and the reaction from everybody, I mean, everybody was so happy for him. I mean, every crew member on every team was out there giving him vibes and everything.
I guess the biggest race that always sticks out in my mind, I guess, is the race between David Pearson and Richard Petty at Daytona. Not that I was only 1 year old during that time, but I got to see a lot of tapes and stuff of it. It's all the old races like that that really makes you be proud to be a part of a great tradition like we're in today, like NASCAR.
NASCAR's greatest moments begin with the organizational meetings held at the Streamline Hotel in Daytona Beach, Florida in December of 1947. There were very few photos to document the early days, and the national press had little interest in the formation of a stock car racing sanctioning body. Like many great ventures of the 20th century, NASCAR came from humble beginnings. With 20/20 hindsight, we can now clearly see that this was a great milestone for America. It gave birth to a sport enterprise that would impact many segments of U.S. commerce. But that was just the beginning. Through the second half of the 20th century, NASCAR has seen great races, discovered great personalities, been a platform for historic accomplishments, and drawn the attention of the national media. As we look toward the new millennium, we can also look back to relive and recount some of NASCAR's greatest moments. Prior to the formation of NASCAR, stock car racing was a loosely organized, sometimes chaotic mess that was the target of many unscrupulous promoters.
In those days, one of the big problems in auto racing was the unscrupulous promoter who would get a roll of tickets and some posters and put some posters in barbershop windows and on telegraph poles and have an auto race at the local fairgrounds track. And then by the time the second heat was in progress, he would leave with the money, and there'd be no prize money paid. And that was really a big problem in those days about racing. And that, I think, was the primary reason NASCAR was formed.
NASCAR's first president and founder, Bill France, wanted an organization with order, rules, and a master plan for the future. From the beginning, he would rule the sport as a benevolent dictator.
He was the type of an individual that immediately commanded a lot of respect. When you met him, you knew that he was a leader. You could just tell that just by talking to him, that he was a leader. And that certainly was the case as far as I was concerned, that I built an immediate respect for him. Now, over the years, I didn't always agree with everything that he did and said, but I always had respect for him because he had the best thing going as far as racing was concerned, and he always seemed to have such a vision for the sport, far beyond most anybody else that you could ever meet. And I couldn't even dream that we would see the things happening that he would see that would happen somewhere down the road.
Bill France Sr., without his vision, without his courage, frankly, without his guts and his stick-to-itness, his absolutely unbeatable level of energy to make all of this happen. He is, hands down, not only the most important personality in American stock car racing, he is the most important personality in American racing. And I think when the final chapter is written many years from now, he may prove to have been the most pivotal person in motorsports worldwide. The foundation that was laid in NASCAR's organizational meetings held firm
when the strictly stock division ran its first race in Charlotte, North Carolina in 1949.
Well, I remember when we had the first Winston Cup race, the very first one at the Wilkerson Boulevard, off of Wilkerson Boulevard, the 3/4 mile dirt track there in Charlotte, which is right off of what I guess is Little Rock Road now. And I was guarding the fences for that event. And I'd pull one off. They were trying to coming over the fence like ants practically. And that's the winner came out of there alive.
First race we went to was the first race that they ran in Charlotte in 1949. And I think we drove the car to the racetrack. It was like a 46, 47 Buick, four-door. And I can remember driving it over there and then pulling in a service station before we went to the racetrack, jacking it up, greasing it, changing the oil and everything. Then we went on over to the racetrack. And then they ran the race, and they ran about half the race and turned over down there in 3 and 4 and tore the car all to pieces, and we had to throw a ride home.
Jim Roper was declared the winner of the race when Glenn Dunaway's Lincoln failed to pass the post-race inspection. NASCAR's rules were challenged, but were found to be fair and enforceable.
There was a really a lot of races. You got to figure that it was the first time that NASCAR looked at running the Winston Cup, or they called it Grand National at that time, new model cars. And they had a bunch of people, had a lot more people, I think, than what they was really expecting. And he came off real good. They had a set of rules, and they wound up disqualifying the winner because he'd done a little something different. So they got off on the right track to tell the people that, they were going to run strictly stock cars.
Racing on the beach at Daytona predated the formation of NASCAR. Prior to World War II, Bill France was a competitor and organizer of the races held on a temporary course that utilized 2 miles of Daytona's wide, flat beaches, running parallel to Florida Highway A1A. With the formation of NASCAR, the beach races took on added prominence and credibility, and featured several classes of racing that they sanctioned. The February Speed Weeks events were used to build the legend of those who would travel from all over the country to test their driving and mechanical skills against the best that stock car racing had to offer. The beach and road course was a temporary winter haven for lovers of stock car racing. To build the sport nationally, there was a need for a permanent track that would legitimize the competition and give stock car racing fans a place that could compare to the open-wheel mecca of Indianapolis.
NASCAR's Greatest Moments is brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, official beer of NASCAR. Hey, race fans, this Bud's for you. And by The Home Depot, the official home improvement warehouse of NASCAR.
Livelog Day 19, traveling the circuits of NASCAR.
Darlington, Daytona, Talladega, Charlotte. The drivers, the cars, the action, bumper to bumper, mano-a-mano at speeds of over 200 miles an hour, with us covering every heart-pounding, adrenaline-pumping moment at the incredible speed of over
35 miles an hour, as fast as it goes.
What?
It's a good thing they keep going around in circles.
We are here today working alongside Habitat for Humanity. You start with something that's just a slab of ground, and you help build a dream alongside the people that live in this home.
I came out to help build a house for Habitat for Humanity. And I came out to see Tony Stewart.
We have NASCAR involved, we have Joe Gibbs involved, we have Tony Stewart involved.
We got some cheap manual labor here. There's something about a home that preserves memories for you.
This is going to be my own room.
It didn't scare you living in a house with Tony Stewart driving nails? No. Habitat for Humanity is a way to bring people together to help other people.
We try to reach out to the community, really become part of the community, and we're here to really make a difference and to say thank you to the community.
You meet a lot of nice people. Everybody treats you like family from the first day, and it's just a great feeling.
The keys to the home, and
thank you.
You're very welcome.
Hey! He's in the garage.
Hey! If you're going to have a garage, have a garage. And if you're going to use an oil, use an oil. Pennzoil with Pure Base, specially formulated for stop-and-go driving.
Like what I've done with the place? Hey, what does this do? Well, that opens up the roof so I can airlift anything in or out of the garage.
Wow!
Stop. Go. Pennzoil. And keep your car smelling just the way you like it. Ultra Norsk air fresheners. Over 35 fragrances.
In 1950, NASCAR-sanctioned stock car racing was still in its infancy. Other than the beach and road course, stock cars had only competed on dirt surfaces. Open-wheel racing had Indianapolis as its show place. To establish national credibility for stock cars, they needed a large, paved oval to call their own. In a small town in South Carolina, a gentleman named Harold Brasington built the Darlington Raceway, a paved oval over 1.25 miles in length.
Didn't give it much thought, but just to show you how a turn of events sometimes could bring fortune or misfortune. That event, and I'm not sure very many people realize this, was originally going to be a CSRA race. And when they built the track, that's what it was going to be. And they got down to within a short time in front of the events, and they had hardly any entries. CSRA was primarily on dirt at that time. This was going to be an asphalt event. So Harold Brasington called my father and asked him if NASCAR could come in. And it was really on short notice. Maybe I'd say 6 weeks, could have been a month. But in any event, he said yes, and we had 75 cars took the green flag that day, and it's been a stock car track ever since.
When stock car racers arrived in Darlington in 1950 for the first Southern 500, NASCAR had never competed on an asphalt oval. The 500-mile distance was 2.5 times as long as any stock car contest that NASCAR had ever held. The late Tim Flock had great recollections of Darlington and the first Southern 500.
Oh, man, what a racetrack. That was our very first big asphalt track. We had been running on the half-mile, what I call, in my brother's bull rings, little half-mile dirt tracks, real dusty. But here comes this big Darlington track, asphalt. I'll never forget, I believe 1950, we went down to the Darlington. I had a Oldsmobile 88 to run in the race, and I think Funny run the Hudson, and Bob had an Oldsmobile. They qualified and started 75 cars in that very first race, 3 abreast. From the start-finish line, there was so many cars in that race. They went through the 4th turn, almost all the way to the back stretch. That's how many cars started. And when they dropped that flag on that first lap, it looked like about 2,000 New York taxi cabs trying to go on that first turn to be in, first. But we didn't ride like they're riding today in that first race. We didn't know that you get up on that bank because it was real rough back then. But they've improved it now. But we run on the inside of the track. And, man, it was like running on sandpaper. I blowed 22 tires in the first Darlington Southern 500. There was tires all the way around the track, maybe 2 or 3 inches deep. Everybody was, I think the Cadillac that was in there was Byron or whoever drove that Cadillac. I think they blew 30-something tires in that race. But I think Johnny Mance was driving the little light Plymouth, had truck tires on it, and he finally stayed out there long enough. I think 5 or 6 hours that race lasted, the first one, and Johnny Mance won that first race.
This golden moment gave credibility to the fact that stock car racing had the ability to attract a large crowd, and also proved the endurance and competitive capabilities of American-made stock cars. NASCAR was less than 3 years old, but starting to attract national attention. In the years that followed, Darlington and the Southern 500 would become the biggest event on NASCAR's growing schedule that would expand across America with stops from coast to coast.
I think recognizing that Darlington had more seats in those days than any other, I think it seated, I want to say 16,000 or maybe 10,000 people, and most of the fairgrounds tracks didn't seat over 3,500 or 4,000. And the purse was bigger than anything anybody had run for before, so he could see the benefits of, of the big events.
While Darlington was grand, NASCAR founder Bill France had an even bigger idea. It was shaped like a D, with 31-degree banking in the turns and 2.5 miles in length.
Meet Boodle Tidwell, bounty hunter. Knows crime doesn't pay, knows Chevy S10 does. Standard 4-wheel anti-lock brakes on every model, a bigger bed, and more interior room than Ford Ranger. It's what IntelliChoice calls a best overall value. It's what Boone calls his best catch yet. Here's a Chevy S10 Smart Lease that will stop you in your tracks. Chevy S10, like a rock.
Initialize self-destruct in 30.
It's here. Hall's Countdown 2000. Hall must sell 2,000 new and used vehicles before 2000 or face serious meltdown. With the lowest hassle-free prices of the year, many even below invoice, and all with no down payment. Financing as low as 0%, up to $4,500 cashback, plus no payments till next year. 2,000 vehicles must go during Hall's Countdown 2000. 10, 9, Hurry to any 8, Hall location 7, before it's 6, too late.
5. You really do get it all at Hall.
Tonight on ESPN at 7 Sports Center, at 7:30 NFL primetime, at 8:15 Sunday Night Football as the Saints battle the Jaguars. On ESPN2 at 8:30 NASCAR Today, at 9 RPM tonight, and at 9:30 the Winston Cup Napa 500. And on ESPN Classic, beginning at 7 Classic Click and Picks, and at 10 Wimbledon 1982. Do you have all the ESPN networks?
The construction of the Daytona International Speedway was the largest motorsports-related construction project in nearly 50 years. Bill France wanted to build a facility that utilized all the information he had gathered in his years of traveling to racetracks from coast to coast. The France family was not wealthy in 1958, and only a decade old, NASCAR was still finding its legs as an organization. To many, building the Daytona International Speedway was a huge risk. But for the France family, it would be the rock-solid foundation that would serve as the launching pad for NASCAR to become the greatest sports success story of the second half of the 20th century.
It's pretty amazing when you think of you know, taking a stock car racing sport from dirt tracks, you know, local events, to where it is now. I mean, and it all started with Daytona. I mean, to build Daytona was such a big deal. I mean, you know, I just can't imagine going all the way back to when they were racing on the beach in Daytona, and then all of a sudden say, hey, you know what, we're going to build this 2.5-mile high bank Daytona International Speedway. I mean, that was such a vision right there. And for somebody to have that type of vision, to do that and to see it be as successful as it has been, it doesn't surprise me at all that the whole sport has gotten to where it is.
There was uncertainty about Daytona's completion, and an even greater concern about the competition. A NASCAR driver had never competed on a 2.5-mile oval, or on a speedway with such highly banked turns. Practice sessions were an adventure, with drivers searching for courage and speed.
They looked upon it as quite a gamble, because the only other track built for stock car racing at that point was the Darlington Raceway. And the speeds and so forth were mind-boggling. I was the track announcer for the very first races at Daytona, and I mean, it was amazing what the reaction to the speeds was. Amazing.
When dawn broke on February 22nd, 1959, bright and clear for the first Daytona 500, the fans began to fill the stands in anticipation of a great race. As the 59-car field came to Johnny Bruner's green flag, NASCAR's history took a monumental turn.
The deal started off, and they had the convertibles in one line and the hardtops in another. And convertibles run, you know, 10 or 12 mile-an-hour slower than the hardtops. Well, I started, I guess, I don't know, 6th or 7th in the race anyhow. And when they took off, I jumped in behind some of those hardtops. When I had been used to running 130 mile an hour, all of a sudden it's running 140. The motor lasted about 7 laps. It used it up.
The great Fireball Roberts would charge from his 46th starting position to lead on the 23rd lap. It was a remarkably clean race. Not a single lap would be run under caution despite the inexperience of the drivers under this type of racing conditions. The final 50 laps were a duel between Iowa native Johnny Beauchamp and Lee Petty, who was already one of the biggest names in the sport. The pair would swap the lead 11 times in the closing laps, leading to the dramatic conclusion. There had never been a need for a photo finish camera in auto racing until this day. As they approached the finish line, it was Joe Weatherly high, 2 laps down, Petty in the middle, and Beauchamp low. Race officials originally called Beauchamp the unofficial winner.
And we thought Diddy won the race, and you know, they didn't have any winner circle, and that's Diddy come back around and pulled out, stopped at the line there, and Bill France come over and said, Lee done a good job of running second. You know, and that didn't go good with Diddy, for sure.
Bill France called for all the still and movie footage to be submitted to help make the final decision.
The cow that was the Daytona 500 was milked for the better part of a week by Bill France. Bill had a flair for publicity, and he milked it to the utmost, and I don't blame him.
Well, we didn't know who won. That was a big thing about it. And 3 cars came across, Johnny Beauchamp and Lee Petty, and we didn't have a camera, and we were looking for footage. We got a lot of footage, but if the angle comes, if it's the wrong angle or is off just a little bit, then it looks like maybe a different car won than really did. So you needed one right straight on the start-finish line. I don't think we actually got that, but we got one awful close. And